Hey YouTube, Incendar here. This is going to be a bit of a quick update on the previous videos I did, power leveling cooking and power leveling alchemy. I'll put a link to the cooking one in the description. Since then I've had a couple comments, discussions, chats with different people, and there's some things I wanted to update for using cooking or alchemy to power level your contribution points. Before I get started here, I did move my house into one of these 1 CP row houses. I actually bought 3 of them. It ended up being less CP than having one huge house. I said before, get a huge house so you can fit tons of these utensils or alchemy tools. You can say I can fit a really good amount in here, and this is 1 CP. And there's actually more of these houses along the road here in Heidel. I picked up 3 total, and that's working out really well. This one's really good because it's right across the street from cooking supplies. So that's one thing I saved some CP. The other thing, when I did the cooking video, I showed how to reduce the time to 1 second. And people were like, oh, well, I'm not going to spend 400 or 500 million on a sharp alchemy stone of life yellow. And I said, yeah, that's totally understandable, especially if you're a new player. You'll notice on the alchemy stone, the first effect is alchemy and cooking time reduction. And what that means is it's going to show up on all the alchemy stones regardless of what tier or color they are. So if you actually go in here to alchemy stones and just search for life, you'll notice even the cheaper ones here all have the cooking and alchemy time reduction. So you can actually just get a white one of whatever level you can afford. Something's better than nothing, so I would get these pretty quick. It really helps out in reducing the cooking time. And you can even notice that there's ones sometimes a tier above the one I'm using for a 1.7 second reduction here in the resplendent versus the 1.4 I'm using. And this is about, I want to say it's 140 million, but it's showing 240 for some reason. Those will be popping up more when the gold chests come in. I think this is also, you can maybe get this from a couple different events. So that's one way to reduce cooking even more than I did in the video. I guess the next thing I want to touch upon is, people are saying, oh, well, I can just grind daily quests out at a much better contribution rate. And yeah, if you're actively playing, that might be true for a little while, especially if your contribution is under 255. 255, I think, becomes 4 or 5 times more difficult per point, so that's the first soft cap. But then there is another soft cap at 300 when it gets really hard to get contribution points. And if you're up there and you're doing daily quests, you already know this. It's almost impossible to get 1 contribution a day to put in a lot of time into it. Although, this fast cooking is going to be great for anybody, especially if you're low level, because you can just AFK and work on the contribution as much as you want. Especially with the new Calphion cooking stuff, with 2,000 durability, you can AFK overnight and whatever. So I made up this little sheet just to show the mechanics behind this and why this is so good. And actually, before I show that, I just did a batch of honey wine. And if you don't know about byproducts, whenever you cook, you get a byproduct. And it works out almost exactly every time. I just did 900 on an advanced table, and I got, 880 total of these byproducts. So you'll almost always get equal amount to how much durability or how many actual cooking steps you take. So if you cook 900 times, you're going to probably get 900 of these. And the one, of course, I'm looking at here, dish with poorly prepared ingredients. You exchange 5 of them for contribution points. So how does this work out? Every 5 byproducts you have of this, you're going to get 50 CP XP turn-in. So you can actually compare that to a quest that give 1, 2, or 300. And then, of course, we can do the math here. That means 1 byproduct equals 10 CP experience. Now, this little table I have here shows your cooking time in seconds. So obviously you could have a 10 or 15-second cooking time if you're using the AFK utensils. But look at how huge this difference is. Okay, so I'll start with 1 second. If you've got a 1 second cooking time, You know, it's going to be 15 minutes to burn through one of these advanced cooking utensils. You're going to get 900 byproducts. We can take that divided by 5 to get the ones we want for the CP, which is 180, which means you get 1800 CP experience in 15 minutes. And then hopefully I did the spreadsheet correctly, and it comes out to 120 CP per minute while you're AFK. Now, this puts it in terms so people that are doing daily quests can compare that. 120 AFK is really good, and you can just do that, you know, pretty much forever as long as you have the ingredients and are making these cooking utensils. I did some videos on those too. I might link them in the description, but you can probably search for how to get the rough stone to mass produce these, or how to get items or what items to choose to spam out tons of cooking stuff. But you'll notice on this spreadsheet thing I put here, if you're at 4 seconds, it's going to take you, 60 an hour to get through an advanced cooking utensil. Same byproducts, same CP byproducts, same CP experience potential, but you're only getting 30 per minute. So getting your cooking speed up, should be one of the priorities here, but you don't really need to. I mean, even at 10 or 15 seconds cooking time, you're going to be able to do this. It's just going to be much slower. So it might be more effective to, actively do daily quests or whatever. And you can pause that to look at that. I won't get into it too much because I did it in the power leveling, but anything that uses this cooking table is going to give you these byproducts. So let's say essence of liqueur, you need a flower, a fruit, and an NPC item. Vinegar is another, vinegar, essence of liqueur, really easy, and you're going to need them for higher level stuff later, so it doesn't hurt to, make tons of those. And of course, my favorite beer. Of course, I love beer. I do make 50 to 100,000 of those suckers at a time. So that's one way you can just make beer forever doing this. Okay, so once you've accumulated tons of these items, you just right-click on it here, NPC location. It'll show you the multiple places to turn it in. You can see I've got about 12,000 here. One thing I suggest, I tried turning in, I think, 13 or 14,000 at one time, and I think it did bug out. I didn't get as much contribution as I should have. So I would keep this down to maybe 3,000 or 4,000 at a time at the most. You can do multiple batches. All right, so currently, if you look at the top left here, I have 307 contribution points. And I'm going to go up to this beekeeper guy. It'll ask you how many you want to exchange. I'm just going to, stay a little conservative here. And you'll notice now I'm up to 310 contribution points. I was at 307. So I think I got 3 there. And then I'm going to do this again. So now I'm up to 312. Okay. Well, it seemed like I did 1,000 there and it didn't really log in. So now you can see I'm at 315 contribution up here in the upper left. And that was just from turning in those cooking hand-ins. I think, I had like 13,000 or something. So it's going to take a while to do that. You can actually figure it out pretty easily how long it'll take you to do that too, because you get 1 of 5 byproducts. If you're at 1 second cooking, it's going to take 5 seconds for each one of those. So, if you're into math or whatever, you can see how long that would actually take. And what I'll do here is I'll show you some of the other turn-ins. Of course, the other great thing about this, not only are you power leveling your contribution, but you're power leveling other stuff. We're looking at the strongly seasoned dish this time. Just going to right-click, find NPC. He's right there. You can see this one for every 3 you turn in, you get 1 milk. I'll actually try to turn in all almost 13,000 here at the same time. We'll see what happens. Okay. So now I have 4,000 milk, and this is just another one of the bonuses from these byproducts, and why it really works out, especially if you get your cooking really low. You can get, tons of contribution, and that helps your passive income. Tons of milk to help with all those upper level ingredients itself for the most on the marketplace or Imperial. You also get one for cooking experience, one for silver. So it's really worth doing. If you're doing Alchemy, this works exactly the same. You also get 5 byproducts. The one you're going to look for is the weaken reagent. This one gives contribution points. So I think I covered all the questions and comments and anything else, any concerns anyone had. This is feasible. It's very easy. Anyone can do it. Pretty much all you need is a house, a residence, 1 CP for that, some cooking utensils. You can even buy them from the cook. And yeah, beer is a great place to start. Make as much as you can, and you'll get these byproducts. Subscribe to get notifications for new videos. And thanks a lot for watching, and I hope this really helps you out build up that worker network.